Hello everybody and welcome back to Google Chrome. As promised, the rolling stock and various other gameplay pack tier list. I did this for the roots a while back and yeah, we're going to do it again. I've got all of the rolling stock that I own. This is only stuff that I own and we're going to rank them. So let's get straight in. Got the BR Class 33. This layers primarily to West Somerset Railway, but also now to something East Coastway. It might be. I can't quite remember, or maybe it's Glossop Line or something. It's not terribly made. It's a bit old, but it's all right. We'll put it in B tier for now. The 182, likewise, it's a bit old, but I still quite like it. We'll stick it in B tier. 155, I think we'll put this one in C tier. It's okay. Some of the sounds are a little bit off, but it is pretty good. In fact, actually, maybe we'll put that in B tier as well. The Class 55 Western in maroon for... what's this for? This is for West Somerset as well. I'm going to put this one in C tier because it's just a bit nothing. It doesn't layer onto anything else. BR Heavy Freight. I'm going to put this in A tier because it is a fantastic pack. Adds so much to Northern Transpennine. You get the Class 40, the Class 08, and all of the freight services, and it just makes Northern Transpennine so much more lively. It's fantastic. Next we have the Class 31. This one is for Tees Valley Line. I might even put this into A tier and move Heavy Freight to S tier. The 31 is a very nice train, quite nicely modelled. I'm a bit partial to my old BR Locos, but it does add quite a lot to Tees Valley Line and a few other things that it layers onto for rail tours and the like. Now we have the MP36PH. I'm going to put this one in C tier. Initially, it was a fantastic pack. Right now, it is completely broken. In fact, because it is completely broken, I'm going to put it in D tier. If that ever changes, I can move it, but for now, that's what we're running with. The MP15 DC or AC, I don't know. We'll put this one in B tier? No, C tier. Because it's quite nicely made, but there's just not enough shit to do with it. But I do quite like it. But for its value, it doesn't quite add enough. The 204 we'll put into C tier, because the same thing. It unlocks the whole dock area on main s-bahn, but it's a bit nothing. There's no real heart and soul. That's so dodgy. What am I saying? It's not really a standout. It doesn't really elevate the gameplay experience. The M3, on the other hand, is a very nice unit. Put that in A tier. I quite like it. Yes, it has texture issues. Yes, it has various other issues, but it adds a lot to Long Island Railroad. Really makes it more realistic, and I like it because of that. The Chopper, the Class 20, also for Tees Valley Line. We'll bung that in A tier because it's as good as the Class 31, if not better. Layers onto a variety of rail tours and other things. And it's a very nice train to drive. It's very nicely modelled. And it's very unique as well, and it's good that they chose to do that one for the Tees Valley Line rather than, you know, the more classic 40s, 37s, 31s, etc. Right, now I got the 363 for Signord, I believe. This one will stick into B tier because it's good, but not standout. Just has a little bit of shunting stuff on the side. C40-8W, this is for Sandpatch Grade. We're going to put this in C tier because it's just an additional layer for a route that's not super interesting, and it doesn't layer onto anything else, and it's quite limited in scope. So I put that in C tier for now. Diesel Legends of the Great Western. I'm gonna have to put this in D tier because it's just weird. Because it's a modern day Paddington Station, but with all this old stock that they just reused and wrote a fantasy timetable for. And I like the 52, I like driving it on Great Western, but it's so weird running it in and out of Paddington with all of its modern shops and modern station signage. It's just a bit weird. The 101, we'll put this one in S tier as well. Some of the sounds are wrong, but other than that, it adds a lot to Hamburg, Lübeck and Rheinruhr and a bunch of other routes now besides. And it's pretty good. On the other hand, the 38 stock, not so much. It's even more bugged than the Isle of Wight 483. It is impossibly difficult to drive. I never use it because it's just so hard to drive. The physics is all over the shop. And like Diesel Legends, it's on the modern route. They've just got something that they already had, changed it up a tiny little bit and then slapped it in a new timetable. Hardly effort. 187 as well, D tier. The sounds are completely wrong, as are a few other things. This was one of the worst releases ever for Train Sim World 2. In fact, probably the worst, and the Steam reviews are still so poor. And rightly so, it used the complete wrong sounds, so it deserves that. Class 313, we're going to throw into B tier. It's not great, but it's not awful. I quite like it. It adds a lot to East Coast Way, but it has some issues that have still gone unfixed that are a little bit game-breaking. G6, we'll throw this into A tier. Now, it's a fantastically made unit, but it just doesn't add enough to Austin or any of the other routes that it layers onto to make it S tier in the same way that Heavy Freight does. It's just not quite there. In the same way, like it's a fantastically made product. It's just as good as anything else. It's just as good as, probably better than the 101 in terms of the actual quality of the product, but it's just not far-reaching enough. Anniversary pack for a Rosaline. I'll put this one in B tier as well. Actually, I'll put it in C tier because it doesn't add that much. It's a nice little quirk to have, and I find myself using it a lot just for a bit of fun, but it's my go-to for any kind of special event stream, but this doesn't fix any of the really game-breaking issues on a Rosaline, like no scenery or bad physics or bad sounds. It just sort of trying to distract us from the big issues by sort of sweetening the deal a bit. The Silver 72 stock, this is not representative of the whole bundle because I don't have the rest of the bundle. I only have the Silver 72. This one I'm going to stick into D tier. Adds nothing to the route, except like a few empty stock moves. It's completely pointless. Don't buy that. Railhead Treatment Train. Again, I can't speak for the rest of the pack because I don't own it. We'll put this one in C tier. It's alright. It's not great. Doesn't add that much. I mean, it's just a 66 with some reskin, well, not reskin, but some wagons in between. It doesn't really add that much. Like, you just drive a class 66 somewhere. Acceler Express, we'll put that in Acceler Express, fuck's sake. Put that in S tier. Really, really boosts NEC Trenton and NEC Boston. It's a nice, I mean, it has problems, don't get me wrong, but it's a very nice unit. And a lot of the problems are caused by the routes that it is designed to operate on, not it itself. And it does so much to those routes, makes them so much more tolerable. So we'll stick that one in S tier. West Cornwall Steam Rail Tour, D tier. Adds absolutely nothing and not worth the price. Now this one I do have the full pack, so this next one is representative of the whole deal. Put this one in B tier. If it was the Euro Phoenix 37 alone, it would be perhaps A tier. Actually, I will put it in C tier because the Euro Phoenix 37 and the white 375, they're okay. They're sort of B tier standard. The green ICE1, the rainbow ICE3, and the BNSF SD70, they're D tier. They're all D tier. In fact, now the white 375 is also D tier. It's just the 37 that's C tier, and that's what's dragging it up. But the rest of the pack is shit. And if you want to get it, I mean, get the whole thing if it's on sale. But if you're only interested in the 37, just get the 37, because the other two are not worth it. Like, you could do that yourself in 10 fucking minutes. The Class 700, we're going to bung that one in B tier. Because it doesn't come for East Coast Mainline, because they didn't pick the right bit of it. It doesn't come to Brighton Mainline. It's only the 8-car variant. Big disappointment. It's not awfully made. There are still problems with it, but it only really properly runs on one line. And it doesn't have nearly as much of a widespread impact as some of us would have hoped it did. So that's why it's going to be lumped in B tier. Flying Scotsman, we'll stick that one in A tier. Yeah, it's got issues like the wrong support coach and some dodgy texturing in places. But otherwise, it's on the quality of S tier. Like, it's no worse than the Acela, but it only works on one line. And it's only one train, and there's only a few services. So that's why it is lumped in there. Whereas the Vectron, I know it has brake issues. I know it's not perfect, but we'll whack it in S tier. Because it does make a huge difference to Vorarlberg and Rice Dresden, and I suspect many other routes that it will be layered onto. So that is my Loco pack, another gameplay pack tier list. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you learned something. If this influences your decision making, then do let me know. And other than that, I will see you all next time. Goodbye.